Hello, and thank you for joining me here at ASV today. In this video, we're going to talk about that short period of time right before you start your daily vocal practice time or a rehearsal time. And I'm going to call that the pre-practice time. Now, there are a few steps that you can take that will help set you up for a more rewarding vocal experience, and I'm going to talk about those today. So before you even start to go into your practice time, I want you to ask yourself this question: how can I sing with more freedom, expression, accuracy, and creativity today? Well, the first step I would say is to give yourself an emotional and physical check-in. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to take you through that step by step. So first of all, the emotional check-in. Simply begin by asking yourself the question, how am I feeling today? Now keep in mind, we don't always give ourselves the space and time to really identify this, but if you do practice this mindfulness on a regular basis, it will help your singing in so many ways. From learning how to release muscular tension to being able to draw on those emotions you felt in the past and apply those to interpretations of songs that you might be singing. So ask yourself, in this moment, are you feeling joyful and light, or discouraged and frustrated, or angry and rigid, or sad and heavy-hearted, or worried and closed off? Be very truthful with yourself. It's important to be able to acknowledge how you are feeling before you begin to sing, because that will have an effect on numerous aspects of your music making. See, negative emotions can allow your mind to become clouded and keep you from being open to flexible and creative thinking. Negative emotions can also inhibit you from seeing any positive aspects to your music making experience. Now, we all know that music can serve as a healing balm and can help diminish negative emotions, but it's important to be aware of those emotions so that we can analyze whether they are keeping us from being able to attain our vocal goals for that day. For example, when a singer is just overwhelmed by negativity, they may feel that every sound that is coming out of their mouth is less than great, which very likely may not be the truth, but they can't see that that's not the truth. They may be unable to see that there are any positive aspects to their music making experience at that time. So the walls of self-doubt and judgment are going to be erected, preventing them from feeling the possibility of joy in the vocal making process. So if you are feeling negative, you can't really pretend that those feelings don't exist in order to try to have a positive practice session. But if you can acknowledge those feelings and possibly name the cause of those feelings, then you can decide whether you are able to sing despite those feelings, or whether it would be better to take a break from singing and give yourself that space to process those feelings, so that way when it's time to come back to the vocal music making experience, you are ready to do so. So remember, there is always the potential to learn through every practice session, no matter what happens during that time or what emotions you may be experiencing. Now, the next thing I want to address is how a couple of different emotions could affect you physically, thus affecting the ease of your vocal production. The first emotion I want to talk about is stress and worry. Now, stress and worry can manifest themselves in the form of muscular tension, and this muscular tension could be found in the jaw, in the tongue, the lips, the neck, the shoulders, the upper back, your chest, your abdominal area, and even your hips or your knees or your ankles or your toes. So when we have excess muscular tension, that can affect the ease of vocal production. Now, likewise, if you're feeling sad or listless or depressed, that can result in a lack of energy. That lack of energy can manifest itself in your inability to take deep, low breaths, And without good breath support, that can cause a myriad of vocal production problems. So I again encourage you, be aware if you have any negative emotions that you are feeling, how that might be affecting you physically, because then there will be steps that you can take in the form of stretches, breath warm-ups, and some vocal warm-ups that will help ease the effect of those emotions on the body. And I'm going to take you through some of those exercises in part 2 of this video series. So we've talked through what it's like to go through a self-emotional check-in, and we've talked about how emotions can affect you physically. So now let's finish up by going through a physical check-in, and you do this by asking yourself this question. Do you have any pain or tension from life's activities, or from an injury, or from a chronic condition? And have you been doing or have you experienced the following? Sitting at an office desk all day or spending hours in the car, wearing a mask for many hours? Do you experience allergies, cold, flu, or have other illness? Do you have to deal with acid reflux? Are you dealing with the effects of an injury of some sort? Have you had a surgical procedure? Are you dealing with a chronic health condition that causes physical pain or fatigue? Have you begun a new exercise regimen? Or did you have a bad night's sleep? See, all of these events and many more that are not even listed here can cause tension that can affect the ease of vocal production. So in part 2 of this series, I'm going to take you through some exercises that you can use during your pre-practice time that will help prepare your mind, body, and breath for a rewarding vocal practice session. Thank you so much for joining me here at ASV today. If you found this video to be helpful and informational, then check out some of the other videos here on this channel and subscribe. Until we meet again, happy singing.